Hi, neighbor. Thank you for joining us again as we explore the many facets of the high country. If college students know anything, it's food, and in this episode, Aiyana hits up the student union to hear from some of these experts firsthand. After that, I sit down with Aiyana to share our own experiences with on-campus food and to talk about some of the opportunities available to those struggling with food insecurity. And finally, our producer Laird Davis visits the Hunger and Health Coalition, where he learns about how they help those struggling in the greater Boone area. I'm Ned Moultrie. Join me as we say, hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. I'm Aiyana Willoughby, and today we're in Plymouth Student Union talking with students about food insecurity. Let's see what they have to say about this issue. So can you tell us what you know about food insecurity on campus?
Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot, but what I do know and have heard is I know with a lot of the upperclassmen and things like that, I hear them asking others for meal plan money and things like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing that is a huge deal here. So I know that when you're first here at college, the very first class you take, they go so much into detail about where you can find it and everything. So I know one of the best places to find it, east, down at the bottom, they've got a free food pantry, which is super cool.
So you mentioned the free food pantry. Have you ever been? What's it like?
I haven't had a chance to stop by, but I really want to. I know I've got a lot of canned foods, so I'm probably going to take those down because I know those definitely help them out.
So I think food insecurity is a lot bigger of an issue than people care to talk about. It's a really weird dynamic with a meal plan. I don't think it gets talked about nearly enough. And I think it's a lot bigger issue than people care to talk about. It kind of gets swept under the rug.
I know it's a big problem. The people that don't have the money can't get the vitamins and things they should get with the right food.
I feel like this is an unhealthy campus. When it comes to food and stuff, especially in the vending machines when you're trying to get a snack to go. I feel like it should push towards a healthier choices being laid out.
I think there just needs to be more awareness about what students should do. I also don't think that a lot of students coming in know that the meal plan is not supposed to be your only source of providing for food. So, and it says that on the website, but that's just not something you know coming in. I think the university just needs to be better about informing students.
I think that the campus offers a lot of really good resources for people who go through that type of struggle. Every time I brought up anything about being low on money, professors and counselors will always tell me that we have a food pantry and there's a lot of resources here.
What would you like to see our university do about food insecurity?
I honestly feel like having more free food events on campus, cookouts and things like that to just provide for those who can't really afford on-campus dining, because it can be kind of expensive at times.
Yeah, I know they do a lot of blast emails, and a lot of them have to do with the football team, and that's great, and we love our football team, but I feel like a lot of the food emails could definitely be thrown in the mix a little bit, because that's super important for the students here.
So I would love to see more people on campus talking about it, more promotion about it. And I think a lot of that maybe comes from the orientation groups or a welcome weekend type situation, or just general promotion around campus. Just kind of reminding people, hey, we're here, especially maybe towards the end of the semester when people's meal plans are running out, that type of thing.
Taking measures to let them know what food options are there to prevent food insecurity, if that makes sense. So just coming in, just as with orientation, we figure out classes and how to navigate being here. That needs to be a part of the conversation of, okay, how do you manage eating on campus and off campus?
What's your experience with food insecurity?
Yeah, I know that I'm off campus now, so I don't have a meal plan. So whenever I'm on campus, it's definitely a little bit more difficult to find food, because they definitely jack up the prices a lot, because most people, they're expected to have meal plans. So when you don't, it's way too expensive in my opinion.
It hasn't been too bad because I always don't eat on campus, so I can't really say that. But when I do, I notice eating at McAllister's it's $11. I don't feel like I should have to pay $11. For one, you can't even really eat 3 meals a day, with still being able to not have to worry about stretching out your money to be able to eat on campus throughout the years.
Personally, it's not something that I struggle with, and that's a huge privilege that I have. But working in a programming society and putting programs on for the university, I would love to see it, first of all. And second of all, would love to support something like that get that word out there. And I think it would be a lot easier to advertise to people around campus and say, hey, here's a really cool program that you can go and learn about these things at. And it's a nice entryway, I think, into talking about something that's really sticky to talk about.
As an athlete, how does food insecurity impact your life?
Oh, a lot, because our sport depends on what we intake. So if we intake some fried foods or like something that's bad for you, it's gonna affect us on the field, and that's not a good sight your coach want to see. So for us, we have to we really can't eat anything in the calf because of the sport we play, and that takes a toll on our body as well. You don't want to be all sloppy body playing football. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Mish. This was a wonderful interview. Have a great day. Well, thank you, Nadia, for this lovely insight that you gave us. Thank you for that insight. That was really helpful. I'm so glad we took the time to talk with students and learn their opinions about food insecurity. Until next time, bye, neighbor.
That was a great body of work from Aiyana. She just did a great package. And what you really notice that's very prevalent in that package is you see it's multitudes of different types of peoples that she's interviewing and getting. All of our beautiful, diverse students, from just the regular students to the athletes, everybody was covered. The last person obviously in there was Demetrius Taylor, one of our really good defensive ends, and he spoke with some very interesting viewpoints on this whole idea of food insecurity. So it really affects anybody, and that's why we'd like to take time to talk about it. In studio with me right now is the lovely Aiyana, of course. Thank you, my favorite co-worker.
Yes.
So obviously you did the package. Great job, it was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Can you just tell me some things you kind of learned about talking to the people in Student Union?
Yeah, like you said, it was a whole bunch of people in there. I had some athletes, I had some regular students and students involved in different organizations and clubs on campus, and it was very informative. They had a lot to say about food insecurity. Some of them thought that the university was doing a great job at making sure that students were getting healthy foods and nutritious foods. And some of them, they had different opinions on what the university could do better. They wanted more communication from the university, because I know some people don't really know about the resources. So it was pretty interesting. Yeah,
because our students, one thing that's great about Appalachian State is our students are honest.
Very
honest. They're going to tell you how they feel. So we have a multitude of places to eat on campus, from McAllister's to Crossroads, to the Calf. You name it, we have so many different places. And I know you've told me some of your experiences with the food on campus, and you spoke about Mountaineer Milkshake.
Yes.
About that?
So actually last semester I ran out of meal plan money, and I was like, what am I going to do? So there's a program called Mountaineer Meal Share, and it's when you run out of meal plan money, the university gives you $50 extra for the remainder of the semester or however long you need it, and it helps you buy food. And that was my personal experience with food insecurity, because I would have never thought that I would have ran out of meal plan money.
Like you think it's going to last forever.
Exactly.
Like you're not thinking
you
it's
just
gonna
swipe
run out.
that card.
Exactly. You're so used to it every day.
Yeah. And so it was very helpful. I know that's one option that students didn't really touch on in the interviews that I was doing, but Mountaineer Meal Share really saved me last semester.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And one last little thing, I know you're still learning kind of about this, but some people spoke about it with the food pantry.
Yeah.
And just how it's, people know that the food pantry is on campus, but they don't exactly, not everyone really knows where it is. And some people are kind of insecure to even just go there, which is kind of interesting, because we're on a very open, friendly campus where everyone's so nice and everyone's very respectful. So that's why I just wish we would more people would know about the food pantry, which is located, East Hall.
That's what students were saying. They were telling me about it, and they were saying oh, I've donated to it before, but I've never actually went. I wish we would receive more communication about what it's for, what it's about, the things that are in it, and how to get there, because some people don't even know where East Hall is.
Exactly.
So I think that's one of the things that the students were saying. They just wanted more information about resources. Me especially, I didn't really know very much about the food pantry when I was doing my interviews, so I was learning from everybody else about what was in there, or how I got there, or
And I learned about it for the first time last year, and I walked in and I just saw they have all these food, and they're very well organized, and they honestly just do an amazing job.
Nice.
So and they're welcome to everybody. So the more the merrier with that. And just with my experience talking about food on campus, I can't tell you, every morning before I go to class, I get an iced vanilla Americano from Crossroads.
Oh my gosh.
And it's great. So
that sounds expensive. You might need
Mountaineer
Meal Share.
But I love our campus, and they're just great in that aspect. So
yes, there are tons of options.
Every time. Well, you've heard from us and the student body about food insecurity, but there's an organization dedicated to helping those in the greater Boone area. Next up, our producer, Laird Davis, visits the Health and Hunger Coalition to learn about what they do to fight hunger in the high country.
Hi, neighbor. I'm here at the Hunger and Health Coalition speaking with the volunteer coordinator, Seth Lejeune. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, what can you tell me about the Hunger Health and Health Coalition and what you accomplish here?
Okay. So a lot of people don't realize this, but Watauga County actually ranks 3rd in the state for poverty compared to its population. So we basically have a lot of services that we provide that are housed in this building to try and meet that need. We have something we call a fresh market, where we get a lot of fresh produce and bread and pastry items that we give out that we get donated from supermarkets and restaurants. You can pretty much name a place here in Boone in the high country, we probably get donations from them. We have a food pantry where, again, we get donations from private citizens, but at the same time from the food bank in Winston-Salem, for anybody that's from the Triad area, kind of knows that organization. But then we also have something we call our food recovery kitchen, in which we get a lot of the same donations we receive from those restaurants and supermarkets. We have volunteers put together meals to give out to our clients. We also have a weekend backpack program for children actually in every school in Watauga County, including Western Youth Network. And that's just basically for a lot of children, if they aren't nourished on the weekends. There's been studies done that usually it doesn't take until Wednesday of the following week for them to retain the knowledge that they were being taught on Mondays. And so we try to be able to kind of bridge the gap for food, by providing them food that they can take home with them on the weekends. And we also have another really big one that I almost forgot, is we have a free pharmacy for people who are uninsured in Ashe, Avery, and Watauga County. And in 2018, we actually distributed about $3.5 million worth of prescription medication with that service.
Wonderful. Very important work you guys do here. And how dependent are these events and really the operation of the Hunger and Health Coalition on volunteers and people donating their time?
They are incredibly important. We actually, for example, if anybody wants to volunteer, my email address is volunteeringhhc@gmail.com. But we have, for instance, an event that's coming in October, where we basically are the volunteers for the grill tent in the Valley Country Fair, and that needs 40 volunteer slots that have to be filled. In the summer, we have the Highland Games, where we literally direct parking for about 4 days, and there's 60 volunteer slots that I have to cover for that. And so there's kind of those types of events throughout the year. Those are my big ones, but then there's also minor ones here and there that have to be done as well, beyond just the operations that we do every day.
Well, that sounds like a really wonderful opportunity to give back to this community that we all call home.
Yes, it really is. And one thing I have really seen, like I said, I went to ASU, moved back here in May of 2018 to take this job. I'm what some people call a boonerang. But one thing I have really seen and been amazed by and been very humbled by is the generosity of this community. It's really amazing. It was a place that I called home and considered home when I was a student, and that hasn't changed since I moved back.
All right, and just one more time, where can people learn more and get in contact with you?
Sure. So I hadn't mentioned our phone number. Our phone number is 828-262-1628. But also my email address is volunteering, so that's volunteeringhhc, which is Hunger and Health Coalition, @gmail.com. That's the best way to get in touch with me.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Seth.
No problem. I really appreciate it.
And that's all for this week's episode. Food insecurity is more common than you might think.
We hope you utilize the resources found in the High Country. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram @AppTV, and check out our YouTube channel, AppTV, for more student-made content. Until next time, bye neighbor.